Welcome to a late start UTB Blogcast number 29. We got Dave, Chap, and Bartron, and Wayno might be showing up once he's done at the hardware store. Hardware is more important than the blogcast, I guess.
I think so. You can't do a blogcast without hardware, man.
It's got to have hardware. If he comes on the blogcast and he doesn't have like stacks of lumber behind him, I'm going to be really pissed off.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, I'm not wearing the same shirt I did last week, so there.
There you go. Wayno decided to put on our little introduction that we were going to do a sticker giveaway before we had any idea how to do the sticker giveaway. But let's play a game. Let's do something fun. Back before Wayno started joining us on the blogcast, he used to do a weekly Chap challenge, getting Chap to do some odd things on screen. And the test then was to see if Chap would actually do it.
As
now
opposed to the odd things he does all day anyway.
Yeah. And now the test will be to see who spots it first. So anybody that spots the Chap challenge first, leave a comment on the blog. On
you mean apart from us?
Yeah,
we're
on
not
the comment section of our blogcast. And we'll give that winner a UTB sticker pack. There we go.
Right on.
Will the sticker pack be nation-centric? So I'm thinking, of course, about the plugs.
You know, no. Right now, we've still only got the American plugin, the North American plugin. John is working on other countries, I suppose. So I suppose if they're from an area that has a different looking plugin, we could substitute stickers. We'll see. We'll see what we do.
I think Antarctica is the next sticker roll-off, isn't it? With the
We have so many viewers there. Actually, we should do Indonesia. Yeah. Just for our channelers.
We can all sing songs from Frozen or something. But I like our outlets. They look like.
You're shocked.
It's like a BBM emoticon.
I saw a little picture that somebody drew bodies on these, and it was not safe for work. Put it that way.
Sexual content.
Yeah.
I saw that one. That's the first thing that came to mind.
Oh yes, the ground lug is longer than the other two.
You know, I probably should have waited to announce the whole Chap challenge thing for people to realize that we started, since we started 15 minutes late. So you know what? Don't start the Chap challenge yet, Chap. Let's give it like 10
I've
minutes
done it
or
3
so.
times already. No.
Damn it!
Wow, you're good. I had no idea. What was it? Breathing?
Speaking with an Australian accent.
Oh yeah, right. Okay then.
So have we actually started yet? Or?
We've started. We just haven't started. So someone remind us in 10 minutes or so to give the rules for the game again. And let's start talking about BlackBerry.
Why?
Biggest news this week is something that I don't think should have been as big a news. The end of Built for BlackBerry badging in BlackBerry world. Anyone want to jump in there?
Yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy. Just people flying off the handle, and I in retrospect, probably I think a lot of it was just a misunderstanding of what BlackBerry Built for BlackBerry program really was. So I think in retrospect, if we had to go over again, we should probably have explained just a brief on what actually is the Built for BlackBerry program. You know, like from developer, from point, let's say start from the process. Developer submits a or designs their app because BlackBerry reviews it and gives a stamp and whatever. I think when people understood that, then they'd see there's really not much at loss here. That's really going away. It might be saving BlackBerry some money if they're actually cutting, but there was no mention that they're actually cutting any workforce in that. They could just be sending them to another program or something. So, yeah, I think a lot of that was just a misunderstanding of what Build for BlackBerry program really was.
Yeah, because in comments I heard everything from they're doing away with BlackBerry development. We're not going to have an app store anymore. I mean, some of the conclusions that were leapt to were shocking to me.
Well, I don't know where you're reading those comments, but why do you call it shocking? It's the same old people that love to talk that way.
And I think for a few people, it's that it's that straw that breaks the camel's back. So hanging on to certain things, and then they see something which is very small and very insignificant in a lot of ways come up, and they go, "Whoa, that's my barrier. That's where I draw the line." But I think what we need to recognise about the Built for BlackBerry program as well is that it was made before a time where they were marketing apps the way they're marketing apps now. You go to the website and you see that they focus on saying games and that sort of stuff, the social side of things for apps. We're focusing on Amazon Play Store, the Android apps now. And your productivity, all of your useful BB10 apps are to be found in BlackBerry World. Built for BlackBerry was built at a time when the idea of porting an Android app into the BlackBerry World store was common practice. That was the way you got your stuff onto BlackBerry platform. That's not the case anymore. It doesn't have to work that way. So I think, yeah, as you say, Brad, it's just people have overdone it. They've overdone the reactions. They've misunderstood what Built for BlackBerry means and misunderstood what purpose it plays in the market now and what it means for BlackBerry going forward.
Yeah,
sorry, you were about to say.
A similar statement or thought on my part, chap, is that when BB10 was launched, previous, in BBOS 7 and earlier, life, the two CEOs, well, maybe one more than the other, didn't have the most warm and friendly atmosphere or circle with app developers. And I think with BB10, it was absolutely realized that in order to compete in an enterprise and also in a consumer world, that you needed some apps. And so there was an awfully big push to have app developers, be, they wanted to attract an awful lot of developers. Made a big deal about it, and I think that in those early days that the Built for BlackBerry label would have been awarded more often to people who were building things in native cascades as opposed to porting some apps. But time goes by, it's been 3 years or whatever it is, and those kinds of things and those statements aren't really needed anymore. I mean, everybody knows how to, if you're a developer in that, for BlackBerry, that you already know what Cascades is. You already know that you can port your Android app or work in HTML5 or whatever it is that you want to do. And so the Built for BlackBerry thing is kind of, well, I like it. I like it when I see something like that because it's like Old Home Week. Oh yeah, that's a really good app. Hell, our app was built for BlackBerry, for UTB. and that's, you know, felt like a feather in our cap, didn't it? But it's kind of like it's older news now. It's not really all that necessary or relevant, and the machines that we run our apps on now are powerful and don't necessarily need that designation to make you feel good or whatever. I don't know.
Is now you can pretty easily spot whether an app is built for BlackBerry or not by just looking at the screenshot and looking at the UI. No, I'm a big supporter of obviously the BB10 apps, and the first thing I look is when I search for an app is I look at the section built for BlackBerry 10, and I don't even look at the others. I just look at those, and if I can't find anything that suits my needs, then I look for the rest. It was a convenience. It's not going to change my approach to shopping for apps. I'm still going to go into BlackBerry World, search, choose an app.
Yeah.
I look at the screenshot. If I see it's an Android app, I'm going to push it to the side and I'll look for BlackBerry 10. So in that sense, it's a convenience, really, for me.
Yeah, I get that. And I always go to BlackBerry World first, too, before I go anywhere else. It's just a default.
I'm looking through the comments on the post because the comments kind of exploded. Really shocked me. Yeah, you're in there a lot, Bartron. But one of the things that kind of struck me is it was True North commented, "It is the death of 1,000 cuts for BB10." And I think that's what's affecting a lot of people, is that we've seen step by step, it feels like we're losing items, or BlackBerry 10's being cut, for lack of a better word. And that's, this is just one more minor thing that people are throwing out there. We've had, we had one, quote, journalist that said he was leaving BlackBerry World altogether, wasn't going to write about it anymore, and sure enough, he jumped right on it saying BlackBerry's dead again. I understand the frustrating part, and I think more important than for us as downloaders, as app users, seeing the Built for BlackBerry badge, it was an honor for the developers. It was like it was a badge for them, and that's exactly how I've always seen it. When our initial app got the Built for BlackBerry badge, we were all happy, we were all excited, but the person that was being congratulated was Brandon, who made the app. That's the person that was congratulated, and that's who it's for. And I'm sorry to see that go for them, but like what Bartron pointed out in the comments of the post, is all it was just additional testing. It's just additional testing to say, hey, you know what, your app isn't just at this level, it's up at a higher level, and that takes staffing, and that's not a integral part of their business. That's not something that's generating them revenue. It's something that can be lost, that's not going to affect their future business.
It's money they spend to help the developer.
Right, and it's something that the other app stores don't have. It wasn't it truly wasn't a competitive advantage either.
Yeah, when you think about it, the fact that the handset can run apps from alternate locations, Android, lent itself to, a developer being able to say, hey, man, I built this from scratch. I built it totally for BlackBerry using Cascades and whatnot. So in order to differentiate, that was something you can say. If you look at other platforms, I guess there's native, and then there's HTML5, which isn't native, but it's like 80% there, whatever. And then that's it.
Well, I kind of think of it also in terms of like what you see in classified sites like Kijiji. We have featured ad. So we have all the others just in text and whatever. and the featured ad, it's highlighted, it's at the top. And to me, the build for BlackBerry was kind of like that. It puts that app at the front of the queue. So when people search, that's the first thing they'll see. Like in case of me, since I look for first at build for BlackBerry apps, that app ends up jumping onto the queue where I can see it before I see the others. Now, obviously, it makes sense. You have that. Give that to developers, so they'll sell more apps, and that'll encourage them to develop more, motivate even to develop for BlackBerry, native BlackBerry apps. Right now, I don't think it's going to serve that purpose. In the beginning, they needed it. Now, I don't think having it is going to encourage developers to develop native apps. I think the App Store, people know enough about the App Store to say, it doesn't matter. It's not going to get them Netflix or some of the others.
No, I know.
So in that case, there's no point in spending money.
That's the thing. How many people, apart from us, go searching for that immediately? I mean, I think most of the people on the planet just go and see an app and it does what they want, and they really couldn't care less what its designation is or its origin is, as long as it works for them, period.
And if you're just searching for apps, just for the sake of searching for apps, the Built for BlackBerry sticker isn't going to do you much because, as you said, Bartron, the featured thing occurs in the carousel that's already built into BlackBerry World. So there is a feature of sorts. So if you're just going looking for apps for the sake of looking for apps, you're going to flick through the carousel first. That's going to be your go-to place. And I think the email that has
no, but if you do a search, the Built for BlackBerry apps are in a separate section.
Yeah, I'm aware of that. But what I'm saying is, if you just go to the shop front, that's what I'm saying. If you're just in there looking for anything, then that carousel is the hallmark of what you're going to be looking for. But I understand that next level Built for BlackBerry. But as you say, I don't think it makes too much of a difference these days.
No, I in terms of people who want to search for a particular type of app. Say I want to, let's say, get on Craigslist. Oh, let me just go search for a Craigslist app, that kind of thing. Yep. But now that I think about it, I guess you can think of it as similar to what is it, Built for Windows sticker you'd see on peripherals and other hardware and accessories. Now, if you go to shop for, let's say, an accessory, now you have one that doesn't have it, and you have one that has it. So the one that has it, it's compatible with Windows. The one that doesn't, it could be compatible with Windows, but you don't know. Yeah. You don't know it could flop, it could be crap, you don't know. And that's really the thing.
I get what you're saying, but
I have an idea what the experience is like.
The difference there is that you're looking at a wall at London Drugs or Kmart or something like that, and you're picking a piece of hardware or software off a wall. In this example, it's already in BlackBerry World, so it operates, or it wouldn't be there at all. It's merely a degree of how well it does the job for you.
Yeah.
I want to kind of.
But it doesn't have the same experience. Just like, but again, like I said earlier, you can tell what kind of experience you get by just looking at the screenshots. If you see an Android interface, you know what kind of experience is going to. If you see a BB10 interface,
three little dots,
you know what it's going to be.
3 little dots for the extra menu.
Yeah.
And the odds are, if the app has been in the App Store for long enough, there are going to be enough reviews to give you an idea of what's going on with that app. So there are lots of levels, and I think Built for BlackBerry's one that BlackBerry themselves probably could be wasting the few resources they're putting into it on, and I think there's enough out there to be able to judge your apps by. That's just my opinion.
I kind of want to take a. We had talked about different topics that we could talk about before we started up. I'll add a lot of topics that we could discuss as far as like the App Store and the app developers and what's going on in the community and what's gone on with the community. But before we get to that point, Wayno's joined us. Where's your hardware?
Yeah. Where's your wood?
Oh no! Oh no! Don't!
This might not be G-rated, but it's not R-rated.
Don't show your wood on camera.
That's right. I keep forgetting that the American rating system is a lot stricter than it is here in Australia.
Now listen, guys. Most weeks when the chat's on, we do have a little thing we call the Chap Challenge, where I usually set Chap a challenge to do on camera, and 90% of the time he does complete it. This week we're going to do something a little bit different. We've got a sticker pack giveaway for the first person that can spot the Chap Challenge. And
somebody want to warn him? Does somebody want to warn him? We've already gone there.
No, but we did it. We did it right when we started. We didn't really have any viewers at that point. We've got viewers now, so this is better.
Okay. Good.
So how many sticker packs are we giving away, Brad?
Well, shoot. I don't know. How many should we? Let's go with 3. Let's go with 3 sticker packs for the first 3 that comment on this blog post what the Chap Challenge is.
And get it right.
So that means number 2 and number 3 are just cheaters, but they're still getting rewarded for it.
Gold, silver, and bronze.
Doesn't get any
easier.
national
Dave, you cloned yourself? Hey, Dave,
Yeah,
you
my
cloned yourself?
browser committed suicide.
Okay.
That's impressive.
Oh. Double trouble.
We've got Dave in action, and Dave's standing there frozen, looking at us.
The undead Dave.
Let's see, can we do 2 of
Zombie
ourselves? I don't know.
That's what she said, Dave.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to the apps. Back to the apps here. The Chap Challenge is going to be a little bit difficult with Chap leaving us, but anyway. Yeah. You know what I was noticing when we were talking about the end of the built for BlackBerry is that came on at the beginning, and it was great, and it was a badge of honor for the developers, like I said before, but it was based on black and white criteria, and Bartron actually grabbed some of that criteria and posted it in the comments. But it was basically if a developer did A, B, and C to their app, they were going to get built for BlackBerry status. And that really doesn't have anything to do with if it's a good. And there's some great, absolutely great built for BlackBerry apps out there. But there's some built for BlackBerry apps like Bartron, if you're going through and you're searching for them first, stuff that I would never download. You know, it's like, okay, it works well, but what's the use of this? They met the criteria it took to get built for BlackBerry. And what I would rather see is more of a curated app store, which if you open up your app store right now and look at it, right across the top on the top banner as the top apps of 2015, right? I love that. And because if you look at that, these are developers, a lot of them that we know. We should all know all their names by now because these are the superstar developers. You know, you've got, and mine has flipped past that in the carousel, so I'm going back to it right now. We've got, and I don't want to leave anybody out, but we've got Nemery, we've got Marco Gallo, we've got
QT Helix.
Yeah. Great app developers with great apps. We've got error messages and why am I even listing stuff? Because I'm going to leave people out if I do. And that's what I would much prefer to see, something like this than a built for BlackBerry badge. And on my app store, at least, the very next thing you go to after the little carrier advertisements and get social and utilities is staff picks for apps. So these are the apps that somebody sat there and said, these are the apps that I use. And the same sort of thing, you go through it, these are big name apps. These are great apps. wouldn't you rather see something like this than somebody that just checked off the boxes to get that Built for BlackBerry badge?
You need both because they serve two different purposes and have two different goals. That's the thing. With the Built for BlackBerry, just by looking at the search results, I can tell which ones are going to have the BB10 Cascades UI and which ones may not. I say may not because you can build BlackBerry 10 app using Cascades and all the tools, but if you don't link with one of the services, like you don't integrate to BBM or connect to BBM or Bez or something like that, then you don't get the badge. Even written, develop the app and design the app according to all their best recommended guidelines, you use the BB10 tools and BB10 native Cascades, you wouldn't get the badge. So when I do see the badge, I know it's got the BB10 UI experience, and it saves me the trouble of visiting an app to discover, well, no, it is the port of an Android app. So it's convenience, whereas the recommendations that you're saying, Brad, that's for discovery. That's for discovery. I mean, everyone's done this. They have something they don't realize they need until they see it and say, hey, yeah, that's true. That would make, I could use that. So they're two different things. So you need both. But I don't think they're getting much return on investment in the badge. And I'd like to see it. It's convenient for me, but I don't know if they're getting much return on that.
But if you need an
money
app,
I spend on it.
If you need an app, and I'm gonna pull the first app that I'm looking at right now is Instant for Instagram. That's Nimeri's app. Say you needed an Instagram app, and you go searching for Instagram. You're going to automatically grab that Built for BlackBerry badged app before you would look at the apps and see if, well, this one has, this one looks like something I would want more. This is an app that would be useful to me versus an app that just has that Built for BlackBerry badge but is something that I don't want or need.
Well, there are two things. There are two types of apps that I want and need. The kind that I know I want and need, and the type that I don't realize now that I want and need.
Don't choose a number 3 because you're going to be flipping me off. So
for the ones that I know I need, like Instagram, I decide I want to get onto Instagram, and so I go onto Black World and I search for Instagram app. I'm going to look at the BB10 ones, built for BB10. Doesn't mean I'm going to buy it or download it. I'm going to first look at that. I'm going to look at screenshots. I'm going to look at the description. And if I say yes, that looks like it'll suit my needs, then I'll download it. Then after that, once I've exhausted all the Built for BB10 apps, if I still haven't found one I want, then I go to the rest. That's the way I do it. But at the same time, there are apps I don't realize I need. And one developer was a QT Helix. He tends to do things like that. You don't realize you need it. You go there and say, oh, like the speed reader. There are a couple of them. One's Bolt and the other is what's his Tow reader. I didn't even know about it. I didn't know about that type of RSVP reading, as they call it, until I saw the app mentioned somewhere, and I looked into it and said, oh yeah, that's I could use that. So it's a different thing. One is for discovery. The other is for once you've decided what kind of app you want. Now, do you go for one that's built for BlackBerry 10 or one that's not? So it's two different things, and I want them both.
Well, but it's over.
If I go over to my I'll call it a priv today. If I go over to my priv and I look at the piece of crap Google Play Store,
has it got spaghetti sauce on it?
And there's only one thing wrong with this phone,
colors.
it's Google. But anyway, okay, Dave, you're on a priv. You're playing with the Google Play Store too. How hard is it to find a decent app?
Well,
let me guide you.
But is it as difficult as trying to prove that the Apple Watch is useful.
Good luck.
Probably not. That has got to be harder.
Okay.
I mean, that is up there with Cold Fusion. Okay, so
Yeah.
I don't expect that, but
Before we go away from built for BlackBerry thing, I think BlackBerry woke up the other day and, you know, they must have been thinking about the movie Colors and said, badges? We don't need no stinking badges, man. Anyway.
That made me uncomfortable, Dave.
Yeah, I know. So
This is Dave.
that's my job. And to this day, I still try and swipe up to wake this frickin' thing up. I
too.
just did it. I just tried to swipe up to wake it up. Anyway.
You swipe up and the keyboard comes up.
Yeah. That's only if you swipe up really hard. The question was, how easy is it, or how enjoyable is it, or whatever, is it to find the app that you think you need or you want on Google Play? And I haven't committed suicide yet, which is a good thing.
That means you're not making iPhones.
And I absolutely hate ads. So I have to weed those out, or I try to. And I try to avoid all things that want too many permissions, etc. So I find the process somewhat frustrating and difficult. I had a similar experience on my iPod, he said, slightly twisting the subject, today, because I wanted to find an app for my iPod that would show me the altitude that I was at. Damn it, I forgot to use that on the way home. Anyway, I found a bunch of apps, and many of them were horrible with ads. Absolutely horrible, and I was not expecting that from iOS.
well, the calculator has ads.
Yeah.
Oh my God! And
The iOS calculator
so
has ads.
I don't expect that from BlackBerry World, and I don't often see it. You see it for some Android ports. You see those ads and whatnot, and you see it all the time in Google Play. Getting back to the question or subject at hand, just wanted to interject some Apple hate in there because, you know, that's what I do. And the reason I just wanted to say, I forgot to say this, the reason I wanted to find an altimeter app for my iPod is because that I didn't give a crap if I stuck it on my drone or quadcopter and sent it up like hundreds of feet up, and I lost it. I didn't care. So there. Whereas I would care if I stuck one of my phones on there.
The iPod.
So getting back to the subject at hand, how much fun is it looking for the right app in Google Play? I kind of find it a pain in the ass. It's a pain in the ass because it's like a minefield, right? You go walking in there and you see this app. Ooh, it looks shiny. Okay, so you try that out. Then you load it up, and it's, you know, you can. I don't have a problem paying for apps. Hey, we're BlackBerry users. We don't have a problem with that.
We have jobs.
Yeah, and they're not named Steve. But anyway, it's sort of a minefield, and so it's difficult to find because there are a veritable cornucopia of apps there, and it's hard to find a good one that you think you like that fits what you're doing. So I don't know. Is that answering your question like the hard way?
Yeah, and like a 2-mile roundabout way. But so I mean, you've got this huge app store with tons of apps in it. That's where I would like to see more of a curated app store. Because I mean, okay, these apps are built for Android. You know, the apps we get in BlackBerry world are built for BlackBerry. And as more apps enter BlackBerry world, I don't think we'll ever be to the point where Google Play is. But as more apps enter, I want to see more of a curation. And sorry, Bartron, but checking off the check marks to get that badge, that really doesn't do anything for me. It really doesn't.
To be perfectly honest, I think that what we need to see from BlackBerry World is the end of porting Android apps into it. Instead of doing that,
that's true.
If you've got an Android app, then submit it to Amazon. Submit it to
I think that's
Amazon,
what they're saying.
Let's Play. That's right. I want to see an end of porting Android apps into BlackBerry World. Then we will know for absolute certain that the BlackBerry World app is a BlackBerry app. And it's not a
and I
port.
think that's a really, really, really good point, Stephen. And they touched on it. I think he's hurling into the garbage can, but anyway. I think they sort of touched on it gently by sort of insinuating that if you have an app like that, then it should go over to the Amazon App Store.
They have that on their developer page. They've had it for quite a while. They tell you ways you can develop for Enterprise, BB10, or Amazon App World.
Yeah.
That's something that they did when they brought in Amazon App World, and that's something else that people leapt on and used as another reason to complain, because suddenly we're being told to put our apps into Amazon. I mean, they made it clear at that point that the ultimate goal was for fun and game apps, Android apps, to go to the Amazon App Store, and enterprise BlackBerry apps to go into BB World. But the thing is that they didn't stop any apps from coming in. If somebody made a Cascades app, somebody made a BlackBerry app, it didn't matter if it was a game or an enterprise app, it was going in there. I think the whole point of fun apps versus enterprise apps was probably something to do with their agreement with Amazon. But they've wanted, and we've wanted for a long time, to see the Android apps out of BlackBerry World and shuffled them off into Amazon. And people have taken it to an extreme, but I mean, BlackBerry doesn't want to shovel all these apps out of BlackBerry World either, when one of the big complaints against BlackBerry is that we don't have apps, right?
Yeah, I didn't. What Chap said, it didn't occur to me, but he's right. It's possible we're seeing the end of porting to BlackBerry. So either BlackBerry World has stuff. It's either written for BlackBerry or it's not.
What?
Right.
I don't know why, but I have the Looney Tunes. I have the Looney Tunes song running in my head now.
One way we can tell is by see, because when they first released BlackBerry 10, they had tools to make it much easier for developers to port their Android apps over to BlackBerry 10. If BlackBerry decides to discontinue those tools, that's pretty much your signal. What's happening? So.
What?
No, I agree with you, Bartron, because this all came back to when the playbook was looking at this whole process of porting Android apps to it. There were tools out there where anybody could pick up any Android app and code it for the playbook, code it as a bar file. I've done it copious amounts of times, and it got to the point where they've even put out the website, the APK to bar website. It was so easy, so simple. All you needed was the developer's signature, and it took you, 10 minutes? 10 minutes to port an APK to a bar file. Now I think we're at a point where we need to stop that. We need to stop that process and just allow APKs to be APKs, bars to be bars. that's really what I hear BlackBerry and John Chen saying about the cross-platform stuff. That's why cross-platform is so important, so that everything kind of sits in its place and can be run where it runs. And BlackBerry can run them both. So let's go out and buy our BlackBerries and keep doing what we're doing.
I'm serious.
Killing me. Oh, I'm getting messages from Robert that we should talk about Nimmery, and he's doing like basically daily updates to his Face 10 app, which I know a lot of people want a Facebook app. I'm sorry, I hate Facebook more than I hate Apple. It's the devil, but people want it. Lots of people want it, and there's been so many complaints about the BlackBerry Facebook app, and Nimmery's standing in, or can I just call him Oliver, is coming in and building this app and making it better almost daily. At the same time, this is a developer that took a lot of shit from other developers in our community. And part of that was the way he reacted to people in the Orange forums. I mean, I think every one of us was taken aback reading a few interchanges between him and other developers and other readers. But you know, I haven't been following him from the beginning. I really haven't. I can't tell you what started it. I know that some of those arguments that went back and forth kind of turned me off of that whole situation. But seeing these other developers of mediocre at best apps attack somebody who is putting out good apps, that's part of the problem that we're seeing. Because we're seeing a lot of developers complain about every little thing that goes on in BlackBerry world, but how many of us actually go and look and see what apps that person has developed? Got into another exchange with somebody the other day. I've since left that group. This is the group that I've had it out with somebody a couple times. Same person. Such a lovely person. But he to prove his point that BlackBerry was dying, he used a quote from an app developer. Now, this is a group of app developers and bloggers, and none of us had ever even heard of this person before, but he said he was an app developer. You know, and so BlackBerry's dead because of what this app developer that apparently doesn't have any apps is saying. And I'm just kind of using that to illustrate a point, is that we need to look towards those developers that we know, like you said, for apps, and you're going to look for that built for BlackBerry badge first. I'm going to look at the developer first. You know, if it's somebody that I've got apps that they have made great apps prior, I'm going to grab their app first. And we have, I truly think, some of the best app developers in our community, and I think most of us can name most of them, because not only are they developing great apps, but they're responding to us. They're adding stuff in that we're asking for. They're interacting in the community, and what's bothering me right now is that some of those guys are listening to the guys that are kind of dragging down our store and seems to be working their way away. I was speaking to one app developer the other day that says that, you know, he's pretty much done, and he's one of the good ones. You know, he's somebody that makes great apps, but because of all this stuff that's going on in the community, he's kind of not seeing the point in it anymore. But then we've got other app developers. I'll use Marco Gallo as an example. Look at his error messages. This is a great app. It's a great app. Yep. That has huge amounts of potential. Like right now it's basically a global positioning messaging platform, but I could see so many different apps coming out of that using error messages as the engine. And what's he done with it? He's created a BlackBerry app. He's constantly updating it. He's put it in the Google Play Store also, and he's developing both. You know, that's a smart developer. That's a developer that's getting, you know, he's pushing his product, as opposed to others that's just listening to the naysayers. And I guess I need to go over to Google Play and see if I can make a name for myself now.
I think that the community doesn't help our developers. We support them, but you're right. The minute we get something like this and it blows up in everybody's faces, the negative stuff really drives down not just the developers, but all of those looking in on BlackBerry as well. I mean, the developers say, well, I mean, you know, I've been trying to get away. I've been trying to avoid all the negative stuff, but you know, maybe they're right. Maybe this is the end. And the people looking inside are going, well, you know, see, this is what we're talking about. We need to be supportive, and I believe we as UTB have tried to foster that. But even sometimes we have our slip-ups. But we need to be people looking at the BlackBerry community, noticing the good stuff that's happening, looking at the rational reasons for why BlackBerry cut things, because as a company in transition, as a company with things to do to get back to a place of profitability and motion, you've got to start cutting things, changing your direction, and that's going to be painful for some in your community, but we've got to see what's happening, we've got to understand the direction they're going and support it, because it's a great direction, and it is a great direction. I believe that firmly.
On the orange site, no matter...
Yeah.
On the orange site, no matter what you say, you're going to get attacked. So,
yep.
Yeah. And it figures the Australian guy would say Foster's.
Say it, but don't drink it. That's why we import it to you guys. Enjoy. Because we don't.
Neither do I.
You're half Australian, Dave.
Obviously. Tried it once. That was enough.
All right, what else have we got?
No. We're about, what, 50 minutes now?
Yeah, I feel like there's still so much more that we could say about our app situation. But I don't want to hear my voice that much more.
I think we're just being apathetic.
Oh, I'll say it. One of the things that's frustrated me as a user is we know we have the best mobile platform. We know we do. We know we have the best OS out there that's heads and shoulders more capable than the other platforms that are beating our ass, basically. And our app developers, it seems like when we came out with BB10, we didn't. When BlackBerry came out with BB10, we picked up a lot of people that had never done this before. A lot of people decided they were a developer to get those developer model free phones.
Yeah. And also to hopefully feed on a bunch of hungry people, right?
Right. And we were flooded with list apps, and we were flooded with photo frames apps and
how-tos.
Yeah, and I'm not even talking about those
notes.
Yeah, just the readers of those were terrible. They're not. Yeah, but so I mean, just a ton of really basic apps that when you hand your phone over to an Android user or an iPhone user, they're not going to look at any of those apps and go, this is cool, I'm going to come to this platform. You know, we didn't have that go-getter app. And early on, I'd say probably definitely one of the best developers we had that seems to work miracles with Cascades, going back to Nimri again, his apps were all BB10 versions of something else. You know, it's like, hey, look, we've got this great Instagram app. Well, they've already got Instagram. Look, we've got this, you know, great, what else was there? Snapchat app. Well, they've already got Snapchat. So, you know, it was nothing to really draw us in. And now I'm starting to see, and I'm going to keep talking about the same developers here because they're kind of like who I can use most as examples. But like Marco Gallo is coming up with apps that are cool. You know, they're not just functional. They don't just work. I saw that he posted the other day he's got like a pet app coming out that looks cool. You know, and it's something that you would be able to show somebody else. It's like one of those little virtual pets.
I get what you're saying. It's not a sneaky backdoor way to get into Instagram. It's not a sneaky backdoor way to get into Snapchat. It's not a sneaky backdoor way to get into Netflix. It's not any of that. It's actually a new app with a twist that doesn't exist anywhere else, or it's actually, you know, maybe it's been seen on other platforms, but here's an absolutely new twist on it. It's not targeting an existing service.
Right. And now how many of these app developers that are out there saying it's over for BlackBerry, I never made any money, I didn't get any downloads on my apps, made the same list app that 17 other developers did? You know, how many made the same
Well, the thing is,
app?
The first priority when BlackBerry 10 came out was what Nimri has been doing. Make the Instagram app, make a Snapchat, because those are the popular services. Those were the biggest complaints I heard.
You're right.
For BlackBerry 10. They have no apps. They say, no, we have a lot. Yeah, but you don't have the Netflix, you don't have the Instagram. Everybody's basically saying that. You're not going to get people to switch to BB10 until you get that, is basically what they're saying. And basically what I'm saying, I guess, is first thing BlackBerry 10 had to do was catch up.
I agree.
So now we're at that. We have those services now, and I think it's great that Nimri is doing a Facebook app. I haven't looked at it because my account, but I think it's fantastic because that is a big complaint, and for the average consumer, want their Facebook app. So that's great. Once you get that, then you got to look at the more unique stuff, the stuff that really makes BlackBerry 10 stand out. You know, one that comes to mind immediately is a Mocket. I've never seen anything like that on any other platform, and it's not only is it original, it is just excellent. It's just so well designed and developed. It's a home run as far as apps go.
It's fabulous.
And things like that. Things like that, you know.
That's actually been my favorite app since the beginning, is Mocket. But that's the thing too. That was a great app. That was something fresh and new. Nimri, I'm having a hard time saying it. He makes great apps that are needed to fill holes. Neither of those guys do you see running around in website comments saying, BlackBerry screwed me over, they're dead, we all need to leave.
Yeah.
And they're not doing that because they made good apps that are successful.
There was comments made from Nimri that he was leaving the platform and going to, I think it might have been iOS or Android, one of the two. I do recall reading that, so looks like he's decided to stick around, which is good news.
Well, thanks for proving me wrong, Wayno. I was making a point.
No, you're right, Brad. I mean, there's so many apps there, notes apps.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If all you've made is a notes app and a to-do list app and put something that BlackBerry took out of a browser to make sure that your phone was secure, put it back in to make it insecure, don't run around complaining about BlackBerry. Nobody cares.
Same kind of browser with Flash.
Exactly. Let's just put the most insecure thing, the most insecure product on the planet back in the browser and then run around saying I built something great.
Exactly.
Anyway.
Or even better, download the Android version of a browser that supports Flash and Google Talk, and yeah, that's even better.
But at least, Bartron, you're in the runtime, not in the OS.
Yeah,
That's true.
With the Android version, you're protected a little bit by being caught in the sandbox there.
Well, that depends. I mean, it depends how much information is shared between the Android and the BlackBerry 10. I mean, right now we cannot change. So I downloaded one time. I downloaded a Paint app from Amazon. It wanted to know my location. It wanted permissions for my location, and I couldn't deny it. What the hell does a Paint app need my location for? You know, it's not a service. It's a local functionality. It doesn't need my location, but I deny it.
It wants to geotag your stick figures.
Crap like that.
It probably wants to alert the local gallery so that it can get your painting on the wall quick smart.
There you go. There you go.
It's the same thing, man. It's like colors. It's a Paint app. Colors. We don't need no stinking patches.
It's developed by someone who's obviously never seen my attempt painting.
Yeah. I'm a stick figure guy too.
I think Fishlove won a sticker set. I'll just say that. He's making multiple guesses, but
yeah, I think you got it.
Fishlove's got a sticker set coming.
Okay. Here's something for the app developers. Or any app developers or anyone who knows of BlackBerry 10 app developers. If you're not sure if you want to develop apps and you don't have ideas, get onto the forums, UTB forums, and say, I want to develop BlackBerry 10 apps. What ideas? What kind of apps do you want? What do you need? What do you want? I'm sure you'll get a ton of people replying, giving you ideas, and it'll be creative ideas. What kind of things you'd need, and there you go. That solves the problem if you're lacking some ideas for apps. There it is.
Yeah, well,
I need an app that will turn my body back into a forehead.
I can tell you that one of my...
Brad.
There's no app for that.
I can tell you back in about a year and a half, I'll say, when BlackBerry had their I Can Make It Better site open, a bunch of ideas, and one of them was about sharing your contact information, an easier way of doing it. About 6 months later, I see someone has developed an app that conformed exactly to the specifications I put on that idea. So it does work.
Yeah.
Of course, I did feel like I deserved at least a copy of it, but hey, come on, hey, that app would not exist if it weren't for my idea. Okay.
I remember you bragging about it at the time.
I say one of the features. Another feature I submitted on there. It appears in, was it BMaps? I think it was an idea for one-handed zoom. Almost about 6 months ago, BMaps has it.
Too much information, man.
Well, we got a. I'm not going to say we got sidetracked tonight because we definitely kept it to one topic when we were going to have more than one. So that's the opposite of sidetracked, right?
Exactly.
Whatever you say.
Spotlight. What about Spotlight?
Spotlight. We started our news series. Here you go. It's small. It's not something where you have to take an hour out of your day like the Blogcast. They should always be less than 10 minutes. We posted our first episode on Sunday of last week, and I'm planning on posting our second episode of Sunday of this week. I'm going to try for Sundays every week, and we're just going to spotlight various things. The goal is to always spotlight a BlackBerry 10 app, an Android app for Priv users or people that utilize the Android runtime. If you're on a Samsung or an HTC, we don't care about you and if you like the apps, but we care about the BlackBerry users. and then of course the BlackBerry channels. So we're gonna have those hit on every week. Oh, and the tips and tricks. We may have other small additional things, like maybe if one of us get a new case or a new, something that goes along with our phone, we can do a little thing on that. Anybody that has ideas for them or wants for us to spotlight, let us know. If anybody feels like doing their own spotlight, a reader, we're more than welcome to it, because a lot of these people are, I'm not going to say camera shy, I'll say voice shy, because we don't really show up on the spotlight. Anything else?
You can be full of crap incognito, no problem.
Yeah.
Bring it.
Except for us who put it out there for the whole world to see.
I do it. Just PM me. I'll tell you how. Or something.
Anything else, guys?
Nope. Well, I don't know. Priv is available
We've got
in
Priv launches.
T-Mobile Tuesday. I think it's Tuesday. Also launching in Saudi Arabia and I think in the Netherlands too. So it's spreading like a disease.
And India next Thursday, the 28th.
Okay.
Still waiting on word from Australia and Israel, which Roy is back, but it's his first weekend back, so I'm guessing he's probably asleep and totally not thinking about us right now.
Oh no, he's thinking about us for sure. He might be sleeping, but that's the way dreams work.
Those are called night terrors, right?
The night sweats.
Yeah, we're very close. We're very close in Australia. I can feel it in the bones.
What time did you start drinking today, Wayne?
I haven't had one yet. Not yet.
What's wrong with you, man?
Well, I was out shopping and came back in time, rushed back in time to get onto the blogcast. But had a bit of trouble receiving the invite via email, but we managed to get on eventually, so I apologise for my lateness. But in all that haste to get on here, I didn't get a chance to grab a beer or two on the way through.
Oh, well, that's because of your Chinese Wi-Fi, right?
That's right, that's it.
And now you've got too much blood in your alcohol system.
Right.
Which we've organised with our Aussie BBM group a night out around about mid-February. So far, there's 8 of us Aussie BlackBerry enthusiasts getting together for drinks. So that'll be a great night out. Be a wild night.
We've got people flying in from Queensland and Victoria for this. This is quite an event. I noticed when I flew to LA, Dave wasn't willing to fly down from Canada. I mean, come on, where's the commitment?
Well, this is it, and it kind of snowballed in the group chat yesterday from or between myself and another group member casually talking about a beer, and one of the Queenslanders chiming in that he wanted to join us, and it just snowballed from there. So within the last 12 hours, we've had flights booked, motel rooms booked.
Oh, man.
And it's all happening. So it's really taken off. It's great.
You guys have the advantage of like zero difference in your dollar. You're staying within the same country. Me, on the other hand, I got to pay like 50%. Or something.
Yeah, but of course.
Well, keep in mind where I live, I'm about 3.5 to 4 kilometers from LA, so that costs a pretty penny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I still didn't see it, Ian, so what's up with that?
Yeah, like the excuses are not working for the Aussies. They're just not working. Not working.
Well, I was going to give it to you, but the government decided to scrap the penny, so Sorry, it disappeared.
Yeah. That has been
Penny.
a couple of years.
Penny.
All right. Now we have got a little off track.
Yeah, just a little. That's amazing, though. That's awesome that you guys are getting to do that. Just wait. One of these days we'll have that UTB meetup in Vegas, and
The conference.
yeah, someone will
Out
get
in
buried in the
Waterloo.
desert. It'll all be fun.
Pick me.
I have it in Waterloo,
Yeah.
the mecca of
Oh,
BlackBerry.
Yeah, just
maybe in
think.
Boston
You know,
in
you guys could
2017.
save a pile of cash and just come on up to Canada. It would cost less.
You got
What
room
happens
for
in
a
the
car
not
there, Dave?
not?
It'll cost them $5 up there, won't it, Dave? $5
I don't
US.
Yeah. We could go visit BlackBerry, the School of Hard
The
Knocks.
street that BlackBerry's on, and look at the buildings.
There you go.
Actually, I think Chen works from his California
Okay.
home, or he was, anyways, for the first while.
He's not. I've been
Maybe
living
just
in his
fly into
bushes,
the
and
water
he's
every now
not
and then.
there.
Was that?
You've been peeking over the fence, have you, Brad?
I just live in his bushes now. I have a nice piece of cardboard I sleep on. It's all good.
Would have been a palace to us.
I hope those handcuff marks come off easily, Brad.
I recover easily. Don't tase me,
boy.
bro.
It's too late to
All
say
right,
it after
let's
they've
call
already
it,
done
guys.
it.
I think
I agree.
we've worn out our welcome.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
degrading quickly.
That's right. YouTube's already splitting out our BlackBerry users.
Yeah.
I still don't know what's going on with YouTube and the live feeds. I totally think it's on purpose.
Yeah, they don't like long
Bad
things.
YouTube.
They're like, this group talks crap about us. All right, guys.
All right.
Let's call it. Good night. We'll see
All
you
right.
next week. Actually, some of us, you'll hear us on Sunday. Please subscribe. Please listen. Don't make it worthless for us. And
So
Yeah,
the
we do this
three
for
of
you,
who
you
are
know.
watching this, the three of you who are watching this, catch Spotlight.
Yeah.
yeah,
This has nothing to do with narcissism. Nothing.
actually, you know what? Our very first spotlight beat out last week's Blogcast in viewers. Ouch, huh?
That's because I wasn't on,
Wow.
of course.
Yeah, okay, well then see ya. Seriously.
Does that mean we can
man.
only be taken in small doses?
Sounds like it. Yeah.
That's what
The
she said.
arsenic of blogcasts.
We might have to
Indeed.
just shorten the blogcast for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, we can't even say goodbye at the right time.
It takes 10 minutes just to say bye. 10, 15
There
minutes
we
already
go.
goodbye. And
Yeah.
There's our out. Good night, guys.
Okay, see ya.
Take care, fellas.
night.